All right, we have hover 3 from Alex T. And we have a ready from SV. Let's go ahead and count them down to game number 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So, winner of this gets the honor and the right to play Huff in round 2. And so far, SV going a little bit aggressive here. Going to take the necessary burns. Opens up the well and knocks down a Tetris. Alex T finally having to take his first few burns here. Now, of course, as you know, Alex T, incredibly fast tapper, but today he's not tapping, he's rolling. Putting him on, I mean, he's basically even playing field regardless of whether he was tapping or rolling. But right now, both players are going to be rolling, which means we could see some potential 29 shenanigans to happen. And of course, the first thing is we got to make it to 29. And we've actually only had one game go to kill screens so far today. And nice chain of Tetrises over there for Alex T. Well, SV burning down, and we are actually pretty even here so far. There's Tetris for Alex T, putting him at 188. Meanwhile, SV putting out for the long bar. Still holding out for this long bar. Finally gets it. There it is, Tetris for SV. And SV not able to really bring the stack down too much. Just having to go through a lot of these mini droughts here. Able to finally get a couple of long bars within rapid succession has brought the stack all the way down 269 to 283. And Alex T with around a true 40,000 point lead. Right now, everything is looking pretty clean for both players. SV with an L dependency. Gonna fill it in temporarily. And oh, that's actually one of those unfortunate kind of awkward holes where you're not gonna be able to score Tetris until it's dealt with. And the way that Alex T has been playing this game has been showing some insane amounts of efficiency here so far. However, this J-piece dependency might prove to be a little bit complicated, as now it gets converted into an I-piece dependency. And just like that, Alex T is cleaned up and is ready to go. Knocks down a Tetris. Alex T at 427. SV not necessarily in the most friendliest of builds. And it's all kind of spawned from that one dependency, or that one hole that was created. And SV was unable to really resolve it cleanly. Forced to go for a tuck there. Holding out for the ideal pieces, and unfortunately they're not coming. All right, perfect LJ combo right there for SV. But SV needs to start scoring Tetrises soon. There it is. There's going to be a dirty Tetris. 394 to now 475. 100,000 point lead isn't insurmountable, but going up against a player like Alex T, you definitely want to be as close as possible going into post-transition, of course, going into 29. SV doing the best that they can here. And we will reach transition for SV on the next Tetris. Whether it be clean or dirty, that's up to SV to decide. Well, not really up to SV to decide if it will be clean. But it's just going to transition at 4:33. Alex T has quite a ways to go before transition, around 10 lines. So there's going to be a full level discrepancy here. There it is, Tetris for SV. Perfect pieces. And unfortunately, SV kind of setting up a little bit of a fractal there. And meanwhile, Alex T transitions at 576. SV opens up the well, sets up a nice delay burn, incredibly clever. Does he get rewarded though? Yes, he does. Tetris for SV, 597 to 624. This is going to be a really difficult game for SV, and it looks like he's going to actually go and stick with the left well. Tetris ready. And with the ability to roll, there isn't as much harm as stacking up for a left well than you would normally see on level 19. Meanwhile, Alex T with a couple of misdrops, and so SV is going to be able to knock down a Tetris. Alex T burns out, goes to skim for a single to get Tetris ready, and SV continuing to go for this mirror setup and going for this left well. Beautiful overhang right there. SV is Tetris ready yet again. But unfortunately for SV, misdrop's gonna kind of stop the momentum he was building after knocking down rapid Tetrises in succession. Meanwhile, Alex T has cleaned up the board. Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar. Holding out for the long bar. Now in the center well. And SV just not getting it in time. Tetris ready again. Nice last second adjustment to go for that skim. Meanwhile, Alex T has built up a 160,000 point lead. And Alex T is incredibly clean too. SV going for this dirty. He's going for the dirty. Unfortunately, RNG is not allowing him to score it. The long bar is non-existent. And he's still going for this. He's desperate for it. Hits the tuck. Goes for the triple. And there it is. Dirty Tetris for SV. Down by almost 200,000 points, but is alive and is going to be able to take us to hopefully level 29. Absolutely insane right there for SV. However, Alex T at 909. And is almost is two full levels behind. SV is going to have to rely on some massive amounts of 29 play. SV goes for the tuck. Burns for a double. Needs to get that dependency in the center field. Gets it filled with a J. Meanwhile, Alex T is one Tetris away from the max. Now SV having to play on 29. Down by now over almost 200,000 points. And Alex T is still playing as Alex T goes to A53. SV needs the long bar. Long bar isn't coming and is not going to help. SV running out of room. And SV is going to top at 830. So Alex T is good for game number 1. Wait, no shot. All right, we have a hover 3 and a ready from SV and Alex T. Let's go ahead and count them down. We go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And so just a really dominant game by Alex T in the post transition. And SV kind of just got into a situation around 80 lines or so and was really unable to get out of it efficiently. Just this very awkward hold that kind of prevents scoring a Tetris until it's dealt with, and SV was unable to deal with it rather quickly, and it kind of lasted all the way into post transition. And although SV did gain some momentum in the post transition, fortunately there was a center well that kind of prevented SV from scoring almost 2 entire levels, and especially at the end where those last levels matter almost the most. You know, that's 120,000 points that SV potentially missed out on. Or not 120,000, around 150,000, pardon me. Of course, that's with assuming perfect play. Anyways, right now, much better opener here for SV. There it is, Tetris for SV. Alex T now with a J-piece dependency. But so far, both players have some pretty stable stacks here. Alex T is forced to have to do some burning. And this is going to give SV the opportunity to potentially gain a bigger lead. Unfortunately, the board is not in a position to capitalize off a said opportunity, and this could get dangerous real fast. But SV is able to get all the pieces in their proper placements. And with that, dirty Tetris for SV, still building up a lead on Alex T, while Alex T is utilizing this time to burn out. But Alex T is in a much better position, and we got it yet again, another awkward hole for SV. But this time the hole gets access to rather quickly. SV just now needs an I piece, receives it, and the J piece almost didn't hit the rotation. And just like that, SV is going to be clean. Both players pristine after having to deal with some relatively complicated digs right there. 300,000 for SV, 259 for Alex T. There it is, 346 to 281. And SV is going to set up an overhang, hopefully to utilize an L. Not going to go for a burnout just yet. Waiting for this L piece. L piece is not coming. Forced to do a burn. L piece does come eventually. Unfortunately, going for that setup costed SV quite a lot of lines. As a matter of fact, enough to where Alex T can tie SV's current score right now. As SV knocks down a Tetris, goes up to 375. Oh, Tetris for SV. Putting some separation between the two, but Alex T closing the gap yet again. Goes for the S flat placement. Nice last second adjustment. Overall, healthier for the stack. There it is, Tetris for SV. You know, Alex T with a little bit of a T hang there. The eyepiece dependency is dealt with. And wow, what a delay burn right there. Absolutely insanely clever delay burn with that T. Oh my gosh. Really smart placements over there for Alex T. That was incredibly efficient. Alex T knocks in a Tetris. We are nearing the transition. SV gets the J piece. Now just needs an I piece. An eyepiece is not coming for SV. Now an eyepiece is needed in the center. Guess an eyepiece is going to help burn out 3 lines. holding out for the right pieces, and SV is going to transition at 524. Alex T is going to transition at 479. So SV with the initial advantage, but had to do some insane maneuvering up top. Now the question is, how long can he hold on to this advantage? 576 to now 528. LXT goes to level 20. Just 1 Mino away from being Tetris ready, and there it is. Alex T is Tetris ready. SV holding his ground. Needs to do a skim or a hope for an L piece. Gets the L piece, knocks down a Tetris. 654 to now 580. Alex T in need of a J piece. Gets the J piece. Things are corrected. SV with a pristine stack. There it is. Tetris for Alex T. Meanwhile, SV's holding out for the long bar. A couple of squares going to force Alex T to either have to burn 3 more lines, or is Alex T going to go and set up for a dirty? No, just going to get cleaned up. 710 for SV. 612 for Alex T. Alex T makes the adjustment. Now 1 Mino away from being Tetris ready. Decides to go for a skim, throwing those squares all the way over to the left. Meanwhile, SV opens up the well and knocks down a Tetris. 742 to now 640. Alex T, Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar here. And so is SV. SV knocks down a Tetris. Alex T also knocks down a Tetris. 670 to now 772. 100,000 point lead. Scratch that 130,000 point lead in favor of SV. But Alex T misses the spin. That's going to convert into a couple more burns unless Alex T converts it into a dirty Tetris and a well transfer. And right now has the opportunity to chase down the lead that SV was able to build up. SV is now stuck having to do a lot of burns here, and Alex T has wasted no time. 763 to now 813. SV almost back in a position where he can score some semblance of a Tetris. Meanwhile, Alex T opens up the well. SV is almost there. Alex T getting some rough pieces. There it is. Tetris for Alex T. 796 to now 825. SV goes to level 26 and now 829 for Alex T as he officially takes the lead. SV still trying to work his way out of this. Would love to get a J piece here. J piece is not coming, so forced to find some alternative solution. Meanwhile, Alex T is setting up for a left well triple, not a Tetris. Converts it back over to the right well. Alex T is ready to start scoring Tetrises. SV forced to have to do some more burns here. And oh, a misdrop for Alex T. That's going to prevent Alex T from scoring Tetrises. SV hits the T-spin. Gets all the right pieces to help burn out. Finally opens up the center well. Meanwhile, Alex T has a massive burnout to do here. Gonna go ahead and go for the double. And ooh, SV with a tricky situation to deal with. Needs an eyepiece to try and resolve this Vitz. Eyepiece is not coming. Alex T is almost back in scoring position. Currently, SV has a 1 Tetris lead. Holding out for the right pieces and not gonna happen. So SV is gonna have to do this and not able to roll that piece quite where he wants it to. SV is gonna top out at 903. Alex T with that Tetris is gonna do it at 912. Just pretend it's Gauntlet. Keck W. All right, both players are ready or either hovering 3, so let's go ahead and count them down. Game number 3. Can SV turn the momentum in his favor and try and perform the reverse sweep? Or will Alex T sweep his way into round 2 to face off against Huff? Here we go. And Alex T not starting off too clean here. It's nothing too dangerous, but it is going to allow SV to gain a minor lead. And oh, another misdrop for Alex T. As shown, 18 really isn't everything in a Tetris game, but the last game was a lot closer as SV definitely had an advantage. Alex T set up for a dirty Tetris and knocks it down. And Alex T gonna set up for another one. Knocks that down as well. Meanwhile, SV has been just stacking incredibly clean since the beginning. Making really solid adjustments. And Alex T just continuing to go for these dirty Tetrises. I was going to decide to try and burn this out. Would love to get a J-piece here. J-piece comes a bit too late, forcing Alex T to burn one more line. There it is, Tetris for Alex T. Meanwhile, SV has just been going strong here in the opener. 254,000 to 157, scratch that 180. And SV also slightly behind in lines. So we'll have a true advantage of around 100,000 points here in the beginning. Thing is, whenever you get into this situation, it is important that you maintain the situation. All it takes is just one misdrop or, you know, just poor management of a drought, and your opponent has all of a sudden caught up from a 100,000 point deficit. And in particular, Alex T is one of those players that can do said thing. Of course, when he's not misdropping. And really struggling to get these 5 taps over to the left so far here on 18. But both players knocked down Tetris 252 to now 368. But so far, both players are pretty clean. At this point, I'd expect that we should see a pretty high 500, if not a 600k transition from wait a second. SV is at 670k transition pace right now. And look at just how pristine the stack looks. Every piece meticulously placed for SV. Beautiful overhang. But fortunately, that S piece was not necessarily favorable. So SV going to have to do some burning here. Might try and go for a road to get an I piece, throw down there and burn a double. But an I piece dependency created. And this is exactly what I forecasted could potentially happen. All it takes is for one bad situation to make things go completely wrong. SV now in dig mode here. Eyepiece is needed. Eyepiece comes too late. SV now opens up the well again. Or rather the hole, not necessarily a Tetris well. And just barely staying alive. Gets the L piece. Needs to get an eyepiece over. Gets the eyepiece split triple. SV is going to survive. And Alex T has done nothing but close the gap. Another Tetris for Alex T. 487 to now 511. And SV is still in this burn. Finally in a position where a potential Tetris can be scored if an eyepiece comes. Alright, eyepiece comes. SV is now set up for a row 3. Just in time before transition. There it is. Tetris for SV. Gonna transition it around 560, and Alex T is going to transition around the same. So basically even here on transition. But SV continuing to go for this left wheel here. SV is set up for the left wheel. Meanwhile, Alex T holding out for the right piece. The tuck gets it. Gonna go for a safety skim. And Alex T is gonna survive. 647 and now 626. And not entirely sure what SV is gonna do. Is he gonna go for aggressive and go for the row 3? Yes, he is. There it is. Tetris for SV. 653 to now 701. Another Tetris for SV. Now back in the center wheel situation. And there it is, a perfect center wheel transfer. 740 to now 731. As Alex T is actually having to burn. Another Tetris for Alex T. But SV with some really unfortunate misdrops here. Love to get a T piece. Actually, that combination works out perfectly. Just needs an L piece here. L piece is needed. L piece came a bit too late. Finally gets an I piece to fill in the dependency. Still in need of an L piece. L piece is not coming. Finally gets the L piece. The well is open. There it is. Tetris for SV. Gonna go ahead and set up a small delay burn. Meanwhile, Alex T is not in a position to score Tetris either. Both players having to deal with respective complications, but SV is in a clean position here. There it is. Tetris ready is SV as he knocks down another Tetris and goes into the lead. 815 to 808. Alex T with a really complicated setup here. Not entirely sure how he's going to be able to navigate through this in a more efficient manner. Would love to get an O piece or a J. Now in need of an I, as SV now goes up to a 60,000 point lead. And Alex T, just this bird keeps up perpetuating. $829 to now $979. Another Tetris for SV. Alex T finally back in the scoring position. Holding out. No, none of these pieces are good. Meanwhile, SV at 848. Both players are on level 28. Alex T gonna have to chase this down on post. Knocks down a dirty Tetris. All right, perfect setup. Alex T goes to 29 at 947. There it is. Tetris for SV. Holds out for the tuck. Set up for one last Tetris. Able to roll a piece over. B26. Alex T now still burning his way down. Meanwhile, SV trying to get some more lines. Alex T not in any position to score any Tetrises. Not going to go for the tuck. Going to just try and take this burn by burn. Able to throw pieces over to the left. Nice flat placement. Meanwhile, SV is still burning lines. B43 right now for Alex, or not for Alex T, for SV. And 973 for Alex T. Alex T not getting pieces. Oh my gosh, able to roll a piece over to the left, but it might be over. It needs to find some way to get a piece to slide underneath there in column 3. Gonna have to do something. It's not gonna happen. SV holds out and is able to avoid a sweep with basically a 1.2 here in game number 3. Let's see, SV trying to continue to play out a little bit more. But 1.25 right there. All right, we got a hover 3 from Alex T, and we got a ready from SV. So let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Game number 4. And hey, I timed that perfectly. Let's go. And Alex T already starting off with a bit of an uncharacteristic build, but actually incredibly smart solve. Only going to result in 2 burn lines. And so it's going to be playing a little bit more efficient than SV as a result. Just slightly. There's another Tetris for Alex T. So SV, now with some hope, still has to win 2 games in order to advance, but now is only 1 game away from taking it to a decider. Another Tetris for Alex T. Meanwhile, SV running into some complications. But so far, everything's pretty clean. Of course, game 2. What a massive game for SV that was. Excellent post-transition and able to even secure it a little bit more. Some really solid 29 play. Or game 3, not game 2. Alex T, on the other hand, just kind of got into a situation where he wasn't really able to keep up and forced himself to have to pull off one of the biggest chase downs that we've seen on CTM. I mean, probably biggest chase down what we've seen in Classic Tetris, being down by almost 300,000 points. At least in post-kill screen. But this game is off to a great start for Alex T here. 279 to now 266. As Alex T goes up to 302 at 79 lines. SV keeping things clean, but a couple of pieces are going to force SV to have to do a little bit of burning. And right now, Alex T seems to be on fire. There's another Tetris for Alex T. $372 to 297, almost a 100,000 point lead for Alex T. And Alex T has done a fantastic job of minimizing burns. 418 to 343. And Alex T's just been playing incredibly efficient here. Simul Tetris right there. Wow. 486 to now 390. And Alex T looking at a 650k transition, maybe even a 670 right now. Decides to take a smart triple. And oh, SV getting up a little bit high. Great T into a L burn. Holding out for the eyepiece. There it is, Tetris for SV. And now Alex T with a lot of complications developing. This is going to kind of give SV an opportunity to close the gap. $524 to now $511. SV would transition the next 10 lines. Meanwhile, Alex T will transition the next 13. Knocks down a Tetris. 555 to now 533. Post-transition is about to get underway. There is Tetris for SV. Gonna set up an overhang. Gets all the pieces to execute the overhang and get Tetris ready to try and squeeze out that last Tetris before transition. And SV is going to transition at 581. Alex T transitions at 604, separated by one Tetris at transition. This is a game. Alex T knocks down a Tetris, and so does SV to go to 628 and 606 respectively. Unfortunately, SVA ran into a couple of complications. One minor misdrop is going to set him back a little bit. See what he's able to do here. He's got to try and get out of this efficiently as Alex T is building up momentum. And another misdrop for SV. Alex T is Tetris ready. Knocks down a Tetris. Goes up to 730. SV decides to create a delay burn. And another misdrop over here for SV. And just like that, Alex T has been displaying some incredible display of post-transition efficiency. SV is now fallen behind by 160,000 points and is still not in a position to score. There's another Tetris for Alex T. Goes up to 813. SV now in position to score for Tetrises here. Oh, now for the long bar. Now he's going dirty. The question is, does RNG provide? SV sets up a delay burn. Beautifully executed, but he needs the long bar and barely gets it over. Knocks down a Tetris. 670 for SV. Down by over 200,000 points as Alex T goes up to 902,000 here on level 24. SV still trying to do something here. Needs a J or an I. Either or would help. SV just having to try and do something. In this case, it'll be SV having to rely on post-29 play. SV still going for these road 3 Tetrises. Gotta play aggressive as Alex T is not slowing down one bit. In fact, Alex T is 2,000 points away from a max here as will max into level 26. And there it is, max out for Alex T. There's a Tetris, 833 to 782. SV just trying to do that the best that he can. Not really much that can happen here. 29 play is a necessity. SV now can try and go for left well. Might try and... No, it's just going to convert it to the right well. Try and get things set up for an attempt to try and chase down the score that Alex T continues to compound. B67 to now 833. Another Tetris for Alex T goes up to 1.2. And SV goes to level 29 at 909. Has to chase down 300,000 points, and Alex T is not topped out yet either, as Alex T knocks down another Tetris, just creating even more barriers and mountains for SV to climb in order to take this game. Alex T is set up, well, was set up for another Tetris, but SV trying to do the best that they can. Not really getting ideal pieces, able to throw a piece over to the left. Alex T now at 1.3. Alex T going for the center well. Knocks down another Tetris, 1.34. SV still surviving, but needs to get an eyepiece or something over to the left. And at this point, Alex T is just adding insult to injury as SV tops out at 945. 1.36 is Alex T's ending score. And he will go and advance to the next round to face Huff. Only a couple of thousand points shy of a 1.4 here. There it is, 1.4 for Alex T. Set up for a dirty Tetris. Knocks it down. And that might be the end. Yeah, that's the end. 1.45 for Alex T. And now we advance to round 2, where it's going to be Alex T versus Huff.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.